Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Man, the work never ends. You know, I built this house. It's actually a duplex. This is one unit over here, and the tenants that have been in here for about 4 or 5 years, husband's kids have grown up, and he had surgery, and there was a fear that he had cancer. Fortunately for them, they ended up not having cancer, but he did have a big growth and stuff taken out. So I'm here. Got to spackle up some holes. Got to take out and rip out the carpet and things to get it together. I've got another person who wants to move in as soon as possible, but I got work to do to get it done. But that's not why you tuned in. But check this out. Look, I want you to show. I want to show you guys. You see this kitchen? I built these cabinets some 12, maybe 13 years ago. Countertop, all that stuff. Now it's a little dirty. I got to clean it up, but still doesn't look too bad for the age of it. I wish I could say the same for me. So our Dallas Cowboys today, friends, are practicing at AT&T, and then tomorrow, of course, they have the blue and white scrimmage at AT&T as well. Basically, it's a glorified practice. It's going to go on from 5 to 9 p.m. for 3 hours tomorrow, and we'll be live streaming during that. But I got an interesting take. This is really interesting to me from Jerry Jones. I'm just looking at the nails. It's one of those things that drives me crazy, all these damn nails and screws and stuff in the wall that I gotta spackle up. But Jerry Jones was asked about Mike McCarthy. And he said, when you talk to Mike McCarthy, you know you're talking to a coach. That's the thing with Jerry Jones is you gotta read between the lines a little bit, to understand what he's talking about. When you talk to Mike McCarthy, you realize you're talking to a coach. Is that some shade being thrown at Jason Garrett? Not in a vicious way, because this has been my thing all along when it comes to Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, nice guy, likable guy. The players love him. Dak Prescott, in fact, is grateful. Ceiling fan, definitely got to paint everything. Is definitely grateful for the opportunities that he had with Jason Garrett, and will always be, a guy that he looks up to and thinks highly of. And I'm not trying to take any of that away from him, and shouldn't, because Jason Garrett, he did his stuff, okay, but not everybody is going to become the head honcho and the pinnacle of the career. There's a lot of great coaches out there that never won it all, never won playoff games, maybe even never made it to the playoffs. So I'm not trying to disparage Jason Garrett, but it's been my premise all along that the thing with Jason Garrett is this. When you think of a Sean McVay started out in Tampa Bay as an intern, okay, working under John Gruden. He ended up working up his ranks from an intern all the way up to head coach. He had experiences, even with the Washington football team before he became the head coach of the Rams. You look at Kyle Shanahan, his dad, of course, being a head coach, him being in Washington as well as in Atlanta and all these places, having experience. They're still young guys, but they've seen it all from different perspectives. They've seen, from being the ball boy and hoping that one day I can do this to being, a line coach or a quarterback coach or you know what I'm saying? And Mike McCarthy has been that way as well. He started out and he's been position coaches from all different phases. So you understand teaching a guy how to block. You understand how to teach a guy to be a receiver. You understand being an offensive coordinator. You understand all the elements. And I don't think that Jason Garrett had all of those elements. It's not that he's not intelligent, because he is. It takes a lot of intelligence to get a degree from Princeton. But when you think about experience, I'll tell you, I'm not an architect. I didn't go to college to be a designer or an architect or an engineer or anything like that. I haven't. And you look at the guys that can put that stamp on there, they've been to school. They're educated fools, as my uncle would say. But I've had times where I look at the plans that an architect or an engineer designs and say, that shit's not going to work. I can tell you it's not going to work because of this, this, and this. The way you can make that work is you do this, this, and this. In fact, at the American Indian Museum, if you ever go to the American Indian Museum, and I invite you to, you'll learn a lot about our history and things like that, about Andrew Jackson, about what the Indians and everything else. You'll understand that during the American Revolution that the Indians helped George Washington in the whole Oneida Nation display. If you go there, we built that. And I had to build this big curved bulkhead that's like 10 feet long that has lighting and projectors and controls that are inside of it. But I had to match the original woodworking and stuff in there. This thing was in the plans for 7 years. The architect, of course, drew up the plans. This is what we need and everything else. They had 3 different companies that were trying to make this bulkhead fit in there. True story. And they couldn't make it. The company I work for came to me and said, we need a solution. Nobody can seem to figure this thing out. I looked at the plans and I was just like, nah, that shit ain't flying. Here's how I can build it. I can make it like an basically make a frame like an airplane wing. Your curved doors on that side are not going to be feasible. The door should go on the bottom. The venting should go here, and here's how we can lay it out. Basically we'll make a template here on the site, and we'll use that to build it. And I'm talking to this architect, who's in the suit with all the bigwigs from the American History Museum, and it's me with the architect, and I'm like, here's how we do it. And he's listening to me, and like, okay, wow, yeah, that might work, yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to go back, and we're going to get this thing designed up, redesigned, and we'll get you plans to do it. In the time that he took to get the drawings done, I just haven't had the thing built. I didn't have to look at the plans that he had. I had it up here because I've had all those years of experience of woodworking, of building, and understanding what will work and what won't work. It's not that that engineer didn't know his shit. He didn't have the real world experience. And that's when Jerry Jones says, when you talk to Mike McCarthy, you understand that you are talking to a coach, a guy who's got all that experience, who's got that time in to be that coach, that real world experience. And see, that's where I believe Jason Garrett will be a great coach one day. But you gotta pay your dues and work your way up so you understand everything. And this is where I think the Dallas Cowboys are totally different. Because Jason Garrett didn't have all of that real world experience, at least in my mind. This is where the Dallas Cowboys have been saying, we're going to help take off some of that load. We're going to take care of some of this stuff to help you along. We'll get you a play caller, or we'll take care of, the type of players we want to have. That they ended up taking away some of those controls, kind of like training wheels for Jason Garrett, because he didn't have the experience to be that guy that understood every single phase of it. At least that's my belief. And that's where I think the Dallas Cowboys now, from Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and those guys, they've stepped back and they're allowing Mike McCarthy to do what Mike McCarthy does, which is be the coach, to take and cook the meal, to let you know this is what we need, because this, what you're seeing right now, is a 180 change from what the Cowboys were doing. It was the Dallas Cowboys saying, this is our prototypical player. We want guys that are fast. We want guys that are 6'4" that are on the defensive line, okay? We want lightweights. And they go out and now they get a Dontari Poe. They draft a Gallimore. They end up changing and evolving what they're doing. So this is a good thing for us. But I need to get to work because I got to get this carpet and stuff out onto the dump so I can get back to man cave because I've got work to do there. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you soon.